What's up guys, I'm Vint and this is VinceVentures. This is the story of how my brother and I decided to drive our late grandfather's 1996 Renault Megane to the North Cape, Europe's most northern point accessible by car. If you are new to this channel, I'm sharing my adventures, travel experiences and beautiful trips on this platform to provide recommendations and ideas in case you are planning a similar trip, or maybe you just want to watch some different landscapes and escape from reality. This is just a hobby, but over the last years a lot of people asked me about my trips, so I thought I'd just share them here. If you already watched the last videos, shout out to my 3 loyal subscribers. Thank you so much for sticking around and supporting me. In the last videos you have seen my brother and I driving from Germany to Norway in a single day, driving a longer distance than our late grandfather's car had driven in years, and proceeding our journey to the North Cape. We visited the beautiful Kistefos Museum and camped on a rest stop near Otter. On this day we had a long drive ahead of us, but we were super excited to see a fjord for the first time in our lives. We got up early, partly from the first lorries driving past the rest stop, but also from the fresh air and the sun rising up. I recorded some drone footage, we had breakfast, so just some cereals, and then we started driving. We had our first fuel stop in Norway, which wasn't as expensive as expected, but still not cheap. For 35 liters we paid around 720 Norwegian crowns, so 62 euros, so around €1.80 per liter. Fuel prices were rising more as we reached more into the north of Scandinavia, but about that more in the upcoming videos. When we decided to camp not on camping sites to save money, we also signed up for a life without sockets. So we tried charging our power banks during the day while driving from the cigarette lighter in our car, and it did work pretty well. We stopped at the local supermarket to buy some fresh bread and water. Luckily, we planned ahead and packed most of our groceries, so canned food, soups in bags, cream cheese, jam and some sweets. Already after half an hour of driving we stopped in the town of Fossbergom, sorry for my probably wrong pronunciation, to see the Lom Stave Church. It is a beautiful wooden church built around 1170, evolving in architecture over the centuries. Stave churches are characteristic for the northwest of Europe, and the Lom Stave Church is one of the few remaining with wooden dragon heads on its roof. The entry was 60 Norwegian crowns, so around 5 euros for students and 100 Norwegian crowns for adults. I would say it's worth the money, because seeing a wooden church and then one of this age up close isn't something you see every day. We took advantage of the beautiful weather and recorded some drone footage. Our next destination was the Dalsnibba viewing platform. From the church it was 85 kilometers, so 1.5 hours to drive. The mountains got bigger and we were excited to see snow in summer. Coming from western Germany, that was a view we were not used to at all. We took a lunch break with a beautiful view and then drove to the Dalsnibba road. It is a toll road and costs 270 Norwegian crowns, so around 30 euros. But it's not only a beautiful twisty road to drive, but when reaching the top you can walk on the Geiranger skywalk and look down into the Geiranger Fjord. On this particular day it was around 24 degrees, so unusually warm, and our old car didn't like the gradient of the road. We had to stop for a few minutes halfway and once again nearly at the top to let the engine rest a bit and cool down, Of course, we also turned on the heater all the way to let some of the heat out of the engine bay.
Ich weiß nicht, ob die das in diesem stinken.
At the top it was windy and already much colder, but I held the hood open for a few minutes to let more cool air near the engine. We took many photos and enjoyed the view. I bought a fridge magnet in the tourist shop and we walked in a bit of snow at the side of the road in the middle of August and slowly made our way down to the fjord. It was particularly cool to see the big cruise ship as a small stripe down in the valley, and when we made it down it turned out to be actually quite big. I spoiled myself with a soft ice for €4, but it was worth the money, especially after the stress of not knowing whether our old car would make it up and down the hills. The Geiranger Fjord is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but we were lucky on this day it wasn't as full of people as we feared it to be. Sadly, our trusty car had to undergo the next challenge after only a short break. The Ornewegen, or Eagle Road, includes 11 steep hairpin turns on the way leaving the Geiranger Fjord. Fortunately, our late grandfather's trusty old Renault made it up the hill with its 90 horsepower and 4-speed automatic transmission. But you could hear it suffer all the way up the hill, and we did take another break to let the engine cool down for a minute. The final destination for the day was supposed to be Molde. We checked the route and realized that the famous Trollstigen pass was along our way. I didn't want to go up another stretch of hairpin turns, worried that we'd destroy the car and never make it to the North Cape. So we kept following the Road 63, took a ferry and ran up an easy slope back up into the mountains and arrived at the top of Trollstigen. We walked to the viewing platform, let our drone fly and watched the Stigfossen waterfall fall 320 meters down the mountain. It was already in the afternoon and the road was empty, so we were able to gently drive down the 850 meters of elevation. I think this day was the reason why we needed new brakes after the trip. The engine brake just wasn't strong enough for the gradient and the automatic screamed in first gear, but second gear was already too fast for the road. But we made it and I wouldn't have missed that view. We followed along the E136 and found a nice rest spot for the night at Vikebygd, just an hour of smooth driving from Trollstigen. We set up our tent with a spectacular sunset view on Molde, waiting for us to arrive in the next morning. At this night we had another truck parked at the rest stop, but we still felt safe and it was another comfortable night. This day was one of my favorite days of the whole trip to this point, but I didn't know how much better it was supposed to get. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and as always I put the links to the places we visited down in the description box below. Join us in the next video taking the ferry to Molde, driving the extraordinary Atlantic Ocean road towards the beautiful city of Trondheim and going to hell, quite literally, in the evening before finding our next camping spot for the night. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked this video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and see you next week.